Hi guys, Diana here. We're going to be talking today about different stress relief techniques. I know that in this busy, hectic world that we have right now, everything could be triggering some sort of anxiety or stress reaction. Whether it's your tire blowing up on your car, or an unexpected phone call, or death in the family, or so even it could even be something exciting. It could be something like, oh, the baby was due in a week, but it's here today, or oh, I'm getting married. Or stressors and anxiety are both good and bad, but either way, they can wreak havoc on your body. I know firsthand that being anxious all the time can cause you to feel pain and fatigue and weakness and feel like you just have no motivation and you just can't do it. So today I'm actually going to give you a few ideas of things that you can try to help to relieve, even if temporarily, those stressors and anxieties until you are able to deal with them at a later time without the impairment of the moment. The first thing we're going to talk about is a breathing exercise. Now there's multiple exercises out there. There's so many different kinds. There's so many ways of doing it. Obviously we do it every day or we wouldn't be sitting here watching this video, but there is actually one way that I personally have found to be the most beneficial. It really doesn't have a name. I think I found it on Facebook actually. It's just very simple. You breathe in through your nose for 6 seconds, hold your breath for 5 seconds, and then let it out for a slow exhale over the course of 7 seconds. So it's in for 6, hold for 5, out for 7. And you do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it kind of gives you an all-natural high. It calms your brain, and it kind of puts a comforting blanket over you to where you feel a little more at peace and you're a little more able to see the colors around you instead of seeing everything in the black and white that anxiety and stress can tend to cause. Another technique I want to tell you about is meditation. Meditation is extremely simple. It really just comes down to, again, breathing and visualization. For meditation, you would only want a quiet environment, maybe light some candles, maybe an incense. For the incense, I generally will recommend either frankincense or vanilla. Both of those are very calming for you. Whenever you breathe them in, it just kind of gives you a sense of just peace, and that's really what you're going for in this situation. Now, there is actually publicized records, like journals, that have stated that even a few minutes, just a few minutes of meditation every day tends to alter the brain's reaction to stress. So if you're one of those people that are just easily stressed out, where it's like, oh my God, I just spilled my orange juice, my day is ruined, like me, 5 to 10 minutes a day of meditation will help you cope with that a little better. It actually will make it to where when the spilling of the orange juice happens, the brain will just look at it and say, okay, whatever, and just move on. Plus, it will also help you to better cope with the bigger things that happen, bigger stressors, car accidents, that big merger that's coming up, whatever it may be. I generally recommend to people when I'm teaching them meditation is you just find a quiet room, somewhere that you can stay by yourself where no one's going to come in, no one's going to bother you. You light a couple of candles, you sit in a comfortable position or even lay. A lot of people say, oh, when you're meditating you want to sit down. Well, that's not necessarily always true. I find that I meditate the easiest when I'm already laying down because I'm already in a very relaxed, comfortable state, and it helps me get to that point easier. Another thing that I do when I meditate and that I teach all of my students to do is listen to a very calming, relaxing melody. I recommend, you can find it on YouTube, I recommend 528 megahertz. The melody and the tone in the song actually does help to calm the mind and calm the body, and it really does calm the spirit and the soul as well, and it's very It's very effective when you meditate to that. It just kind of aligns your chakras, and it just, you know, fixes everything that's wrong. It fixes the world. There's no more world hunger, no more violence. It's just everything's right in the world till you go back out your front door, but that's for another story. There's a couple of other things too. I also suggest to write. Keep a journal. As a matter of fact, my husband is very anxious. My husband works as an occupational therapy in a nursing center. And anybody who works in that field knows just how stressful it is. Especially whenever you're working with people that have Alzheimer's and dementia and can't remember who you are. And every day, you have to remind them that you're the good guy. You have to remind them that you're there to help. So that's very, very stressful. So I've actually gotten my husband to start writing, which he's never written before. He hates to write. He hates to read. He just doesn't like it. He's one of those that are just completely genius. They remember everything, they know everything, and that's just the end of it. But I get him to write anyway. Now, it doesn't have to be with a pen and paper. You can vlog it if you want. You know, you can take a camera outside, go for a walk, and just vent it out. You can write it on the notepad in your computer. Hell, you can even write it on the notepad on your phone. As long as you write every day and talk about both the stressful, the anxious, and the mundane things that have happened. Because eventually you're going to go back and you're going to reread these entries. And you're not going to want to read stress, 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 and be flipping through this book and be reminded of nothing but the stress in your life. You're also going to want to see, oh, well, that day was kind of boring. Okay, well, there was a break in the stress. There was a break in the anxiety. Oh, look at this day. This day was a good day. This day was fun. This is what we did on this day. And it reminds you that not everything is stressful. It's a way for you, it's a way to kind of change your thinking to where instead of seeing the world as one giant ball of anxiety, you can find the loose thread to kind of unravel it. Another thing I would suggest is get a Fidget Cube. For those people that are anxious but not stressed anxious, Fidget Cubes. They're these little bitty squares. I don't know if you know what they are, but they're a little square cube, and they have all different tactical devices on them. They've got little switches and knobs and roller balls and joysticks and all sorts of things. And they are perfect for people like me that like to sit at my desk and click my pen. Because even if I'm sitting there doing nothing but watching something on my computer, I get anxious. I am pathologically anxious. I always have been. But my husband actually got me a Fidget Cube, which I will link below, that, you know, he got for me, and I play with it almost every day. Even when I am laying in bed, there are nights where I have such a hard time sleeping that I will actually get my Fidget Cube out and sit and play with the little joystick and the roller ball while I'm going to sleep. And it helps me to calm my mind because it gives me something else to focus on. The last thing I want to talk about is things that you can add to your diet that will actually help to relieve some of your stressors. The biggest one, and I know every woman that's going to be reading this is going to go, yeah, I know I did. The biggest thing you can add to your diet is dark chocolate. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, okay, chocolate doesn't fix everything, but that's where you're wrong. Chocolate, actually, I'm reading this actually, studies show eating dark chocolate may lower levels of stress hormones in particular people. Eating a 1.4 ounce bar of dark chocolate daily for 2 weeks reduces levels of stress as well as the fight or flight symptom. Now, this doesn't mean that if you're diabetic, oh, this is an excuse because Geek Muffins told me I could do it. No. If you have medical reasons why you shouldn't, you should listen to your doctor. If you have something going on in you, whether you're diabetic or you have allergies or whatever it may be, you want to consult your doctor. Always consult your doctor before you make any life changes, whether it be to medications, any vitamins you may be taking. If you ever feel weird, if you ever feel anxious, if you ever feel suicidal, please talk to your doctors. But what I am saying is that if you're sitting at home and your cat just died and you're just miserable and you're depressed and all you want to do is sit and cry and watch TV, you might as well do it eating a bar of chocolate. Because if for no other reason, then eating that chocolate will distract you from what had originally upset you. And over the course of a couple weeks, you'll actually start to feel a little better. The last thing I want to mention is talk to somebody. Never, ever, ever allow your stressors and your anxieties to get you to the point that you shut yourself down. You do not want to become an emotional vault. I understand that there's always going to be things in your life that you just don't want to talk about. You just don't want to deal with it. I'm on my period this week. I'm just miserable. It's nothing. I don't want to talk about it. I get that. I become a first-rate pain in the tush when I am on my period. Trust me. My husband knows. I go on my period, here's your Dr. Pepper, here's your candy bar. I will go away for the week. That's just how it is. We have an understanding. But there are those other times. If you've had a bad day at work, if something happened while you were out driving, if you witnessed something happen, don't bottle it up. If you're not going to write about it, at least talk about it. Because keeping those stressors built up inside and keeping those things that make you anxious bottled up and not talking about it actually makes it worse the next time it happens. Trust me. Now, I will say that currently I am actually medicated for my anxiety. But I do still have those moments where I just become so triggered that I can't focus, that I can't think. So even on my anxiety medications, I still have to follow these steps. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please subscribe. We will be doing videos every week. I can't promise that they'll be daily, but they will be every week. We've got a lot of great things coming. We've got some amazing channel ideas coming. And I'd love to hear your input and your theories. If you have a story you want to share, if you have an idea, if you have a comment about something that I have talked about, please just share it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And who knows, maybe you'll be featured on another episode. But until then, thank you for coming, and I'll see y'all later. Ciao!